All right, greetings and welcome to the Eccentric Perspective. I am your host, Blake Wally. Today, April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2025. And I'll be here for the next, 60 to 90 minutes. We shall see. Got 8 topics lined up. I don't think they're going to take too long, so we'll get in and out of here sooner than later. We shall see. Okay, here's the thumbnail for today. Well, let me see if I can get it lined up here. Apparently, I'm not completely prepared today. All right, working on it. Here we go. Here's today's thumbnail with Elon. Going to be talking about the Social Security. Perhaps the fraud may be rampant in there. We'll get into that. And a little more Tesla terrorism. The Kid Rock appearance in the Oval Office, going after ticket scalpers, and the dirty ticket industry, and many more. Let's get to the official topics. Here's what I have lined up on the docket. So we'll start with the Social Security system. Is it packed with fraud and abuse? And will Democrats, will they find reasons to vote against the SAVE Act? And the left, are they now incapable of civil discourse with the right? How about special treatment? Is it not enough to just be anti-Semitic? Interesting. How about this one's weird? Virginia Giuffre. This is one of the Epstein victims being molested by Prince Andrew, allegedly. And she was just involved in an accident. Now, was it karmic retribution? And the French, are they using lawfare tactics against Marine Le Pen? And should there be a crackdown? I think that should be one word. Might have messed that up. That's all good. Crackdown on ticket scalping and outrageous fees. Who's going to oppose that? But, all right. Finally, NFL. Should they ban the Tush Push for unfair advantage? Well, these are the stories I have. Perhaps more. Feel free to drop suggestions in the chat room if you would like, or ruthless criticism, trolling, what have you, praise, flattery, anything on your mind if you so choose. Or you can lurk in the background like I usually do. So anyway, these are the topics I have. We'll run an intro and we'll get started with the headline story on the other side. Here we go. Okay, all right, and we're back. Let's begin. There's the top story, at least what I thought was the top story. It's a strange day for the news. April Fools. Even Trump is postponing his big speech tomorrow. I think it's going to be in the Rose Garden. New era, lots of big tariff situation, which could have some at least short-term economic consequences, but I'm probably not going to get into that too much. We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow, and then I'll be back on Thursday to cover the aftermath. But for now, let's stick to what I have in front of us. Elon Musk, I don't know if he's still in Wisconsin or not. Big election battle going on there. A battleground for the Supreme Court. All hands on deck. But with the Doge looking at the Social Security system, the antique software system that props this government up. But he's apparently dropped a bombshell. We'll break that down. Says arrest is imminent today, which could be very, very interesting. If we can finally have somebody take a perp walk, finally, even if it's a lower level person in this administration, the Social Security Administration. I don't know. Who could it be? Maybe it's a big name. We'll find out, perhaps. So he's saying there's a massive Social Security theft involving 400,000 stolen identities and a financial fraud scheme. So a stunning revelation Monday night in the Teletown Hall with Wisconsin voters. Elon Musk warned arrest is imminent. And the theft, he said, is part of a sophisticated financial theft operation tied not only to illegal immigrants defrauding U.S. social welfare systems, but also to widespread voter fraud enabled by the Democratic Party's open borders agenda. So he painted quite the grim picture of a government drowning in incompetence and corruption, saying the government has got the thorniest computer problem I've ever seen. Thousands of systems, many of them very old, software older than me. Yeah, it probably hasn't been replaced since it was installed back in the Reagan administration. Who knows? But they'll have to unravel all that. Perhaps save the taxpayers some money going forward, which would be nice. But also, these other potentially, bombshell schemes. If they're trying to give money to illegal aliens and having them vote by giving them numbers that they shouldn't have. So let's take another look at another natural news article here. Doge finding evidence of Social Security fraud and illegal immigrant voter registration. Cover a few bullet points. We'll run through a video. Elon Musk claiming millions of undocumented immigrants fraudulently accessing security benefits and registered to vote. The fraud has been long debated, but past investigations found it's more often tied to citizens or organized crime, not undocumented immigrants. Well, we'll see what this new details emerge and what they bring. All right, the Democrats dismissed Musk's claims as politically motivated. Well, let's see if he shows the receipts, and we'll find out. But certainly if they're meddling and they know about it, they are going to start to panic. Of course, they're not just going to invite it and say, oh, that's ridiculous. But feel free to examine. We would never do anything like that. Really? Well, we'll see. Part of a strategy to create a voting bloc now and going forward to ensure their security for generations to come, perhaps. And the Trump administration supports the findings, proposing cuts into services. Of course, the leftists have twisted that as like they're going to take away your benefits, but that doesn't appear to be true. But they're going to start cutting back if they somewhere when we got $36 or $37 trillion in debt. We got a problem with waste, fraud, and abuse in this country. All right, let's take a look at the video here. The shocking chart with him and this immigrant, a legal immigrant from Spain, Antonio Gracias. Shocking new chart of non-citizen Social Security numbers issued. This is a mind-blowing chart, which is how I assembled today's title. Here we go.
I think so. Let's see. Does it work? I can give you mine. Does it work? It'll be okay. I mean, Buzz Aldrin's still alive, and he went past the belts.
It worked. Is this working? Yeah, it's on now. Yeah.
There we Antonio, can you tell us what you, Antonio is helping out with the Social Security. So just trying to review Social Security, where you may have heard that we found 20 million dead people marked as alive in the Social Security database. This is
That's, bad enough. You've got 20 million dead people that are still getting benefits somewhere. Somebody's taking benefits from them. I don't know if the checks are just going out. Are they actually being cashed? So there's a lot to unravel and unpack here, but let's keep going.
so crazy. And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of it?
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already, but this is what jumped out at us.
So they did an extensive, basically audit of the system, which it needed badly. And they had people on the inside who bravely showed some of the things that, the red flags in the system that somebody needed to investigate and stop the leaks from happening.
When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is basically the entire Biden regime. After they were able to somehow beat Trump in 2020 and put in this puppet president, Biden cognitively declined, and maybe they used him as a puppet to put forth their agenda. And one of those things was the open border, and umpteen millions of people came through, and a lot of them apparently were getting Social Security numbers, and especially this big drive towards the end, as you can see that largest blue bar right there in 2024 for the election. So were they trying to get those people into the system so that they could vote and try to get Kamala in there, or Biden, or whoever they thought was going to run, as long as it wasn't Trump? Perhaps we could paint that picture looking at this chart, or else why would they be in such a hurry to give people that are not supposed to be here actual Social Security numbers and benefits? And there's going to be more videos coming up showing that this was much worse than it looks. So here we go.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. This country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now, that work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview. Then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration, and then you go walk across the border.
So the last administration, they wanted that. So that was kind of the incentive. They wouldn't try to prevent people from getting in there, right? not hit with a felony, not, hey, you're not supposed to be here. It's like, hey, it's okay. You can be here, but, we're just going to have you, wait a while to get into the system. But they're going to try to incentivize you. And some of these people got phones, they got money, they got bused or flown to cities of their choice, all with the, why don't you show up in court in a few years? Well, let's let him get into that a little more.
They do what's called a release your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, notice to appear, which to appear to judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only
6 years. It's so backed up. It'll probably be longer, and they're not going to care. And had Kamala won, then you can say that they probably would have just swept all of this under the rug. Ends justify the means. As long as they've got their voting base in there, they can push forth their agenda. And of course, those people are all going to vote for them to keep themselves in the country. So this is a massive scandal.
Only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people. Okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we map the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765. It's the work form.
It's wild. So you're not supposed to be here, but hey, if you want to work, and here's a social security number, and here's some benefits, I mean, what are they going to say? Yeah, let me turn around. Let me go back to my own country. No, and a lot of them probably knew this was actually happening, so they had every reason. It's an awful trip to get here, but once you're in, man, I guess it's potentially worth it. Until Trump won, and now they might be deported. But I guess it was worth the risk at the time, I suppose. But yeah, they almost totally overthrew the country.
You get this form called the 766. That's the authorization. And then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep.
No.
They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen...
Yeah. I don't know how else we could spin that otherwise. Why would they need that? Insane what the Democrats just tried to pull to keep themselves in power for years to come. Willing to let a bunch of people we don't even know, completely not people that applied here, not people that we knew, just anybody. Hey, you want to be a Democrat? Yeah, as long as you vote blue, here you go. Here's your benefits, here's your welfare, here's your Social Security, every incentive in the world. They just had to make that trek, which was, obviously not fun. I guess, fortunately, it prevented more from coming over. All right, let's move on. And just to confirm this, here's out of InfoWars. We're watching now illegals admitting to receiving Social Security numbers and work permits and other benefits. Well, many of our own citizens struggle here. A lot of people that are homeless, people that have trouble finding jobs themselves, and instead they're getting losing out to people that should never have even been here. And other benefits. And they got hotels and everything. So journalist and podcast host Nate Friedman posted a compilation video this week showing illegal aliens in the U.S. admitting to receiving Social Security cards. They got medical insurance, work permits, IDs, Here we go. Let's take a look at this.
Gracias a Dios me han ayudado a conseguir seguro médico, me han ayudado para obtener mi identificación de la...
Yeah, he's thank God they gave him. I mean, that'd be great if we just were so wealthy and we had a big labor shortage and we could just find people that were struggling and wanted to be here and bring them in and give them benefits. But this is not the way things are supposed to work.
Me han ayudado a obtener el asilo, poder obtener mi permiso de trabajo y mi social.
Gracias a Dios ya me llegó mi social y mi permiso de trabajo.
Y que me llegue mi social security y mi permiso.
Do you have a...
I mean, this is really upsetting. I mean, I want to feel good for these people, but at the same time, I don't have Social Security benefits. I've needed hernia surgery for the last 5 months. I can't even afford it. I don't have medical benefits, and illegal aliens are getting it. Ridiculous. What a slap in the face to Americans that are already here. How did these people get ahead of us in line? They got ahead of all of the other immigrants that have tried to come in the right way. Just insane. So this is all politicized. This is their voting bloc, and now they've been caught. It's been exposed. I don't know how much else we want to take a look at here. Some of it might be difficult to follow because we got to read the subtitles there. But, okay, yes, well, Musk is exposing that, and good for him. So, of course, the left hates him because they're just blindly follow their news media and their corrupt politicians, even though if they could just be objective for just 10 minutes, maybe they would see a different perspective and change their mind. Let's see. Elon Musk setting the record straight on the media lies about Trump cutting Medicaid. It says Doge will make sure you get your Medicaid, no cuts to legitimate payments. So this is how they get their constituents all riled up, is by fear-mongering that they're going to be cutting Social Security or Medicaid. But Elon's pointing out that if they don't start cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse in so many of these other programs, including with Social Security and Medicaid, because you cut out all that fluff, it's more money for everybody else. We'll all benefit, but they're not cutting the essential programs. That's all a lie. So, good thing he was setting the record straight there in Wisconsin. We already played that video, so I won't, well, let's see, maybe this is a different one here.
Doge will make sure you get your Social Security. Doge will make sure you get your Medicaid. There will be no cuts to legitimate payments whatsoever.
Okay, well, we'll see if they actually say that on MSNBC or NPR, or are they just going to call him a Nazi fascist who's trying to steal your Social Security money? Perhaps. Okay. Well, I don't think I have anything on that particular topic, but we'll dovetail that right into something very similar. The Democrats, will they find reasons to vote against the SAVE Act, which some would call just kind of common sense measures to ensure the integrity of our election process? Here it is, House to vote on the SAVE Act this week, which would require proof of citizenship. Unlike that one, where you don't have to have any proof of citizenship. In fact, they don't even, like in California, you don't even have to show ID. They don't care. You can just vote by mail. They probably won't check your signature or your proof of citizenship or any of that stuff, especially if you're voting Democrat. They're rigging the elections, potentially. At least it's leaving it open for abuse if people want to do so. So the Republican-led House of Representatives set to vote this week and safeguard American voter eligibility, or SAVE, a critical piece of legislation aimed at slamming the door on non-citizen voting in federal elections, at least. I guess some of the states could continue to allow non-citizens to vote, but you certainly can't vote for president or Senate, any of the key federal elections if you are not confirmed. That's assuming this thing actually goes through, which it should. However, the Democrats think they're going to lose. I'm sure they're going to do something to try to install it, whatever that may be. So this was led by Representative Chip Roy out of Texas, backed by nearly 60 Republican lawmakers. It's a hard-hitting bill in direct response to the growing assault on election integrity, driven by the Democrats' reckless open border agenda and the radical left's obsession with weakening our voting system. So it zeroes in on the dangerous loopholes in the National Voter Registration Act of 1993 and finally require all voter registration applicants to submit verified proof of U.S. citizenship. It's a common sense safeguard that's long overdue. So, as non-citizens continue to infiltrate the voter rolls. So, anyway, again, seems like common sense, unless the Democrats are worried they're not going to get elected if it's fair and square and people are naturalized citizens. So I wonder how they're going to try to squirm out of this, but you can count on it. They're going to do something and pull off some kind of stunt or several. So that should be interesting to watch. In fact, the DNC and Schumer have already sued Trump, I guess, over the order targeting illegal immigrant voting. They're saying the order is unconstitutional. What, to have illegal? You think our forefathers thought, yeah, that's great. Let's have illegal immigrants. The voting was very tight back then. Only select people could actually vote. This could be problematic. When we let everybody to vote, and there was, times where women couldn't vote, or certain minorities, you would only get counted as 3/5 of a vote. And some of it was, bad and probably needed to be moved. I think people should pass some sort of a very basic civics test if they should be allowed to vote, at least have an idea of what's going on in the country, versus more extreme back in the day where you had to have you almost had to have like a business or something. You had to have some cred to vote. You had to kind of know how the system worked. Now we let anybody, which, there's pros and cons to all of it. But what we should all agree on is that we should not have total non-citizens just come over here and try to get asylum and then just get government benefits and be allowed to vote in the election when it's clear that they're just being used as a voter block for one party. So, all right, well, they're going to get their hatchet man, Mark Elias, I believe, on this. No surprise. We have the executive order that Trump just signed recently to enforce the law against illegal immigrant voting. But now they're saying it seeks to impose radical changes on how Americans register to vote, cast a ballot, and participate in our democracy, all of which threaten to disenfranchise lawful voters, and none of which is legal. Yeah, I don't buy that at all. I wouldn't take Mark Elias too seriously. Who are they really disenfranchising? And we're talking about, we just had the election. So we're talking about what, for a few years away from now? It's not like some, last minute thing that they're trying to pull. It's not a big stunt. It's all very transparent. Trump's March 25th order from just a few days ago is multiple sections. Several deal with laws that bar foreigners from registering to vote or from voting in federal elections. Trump directed the Independent Election Assistance Commission to require proof of U.S. citizenship, especially if they're doing that mail voter registration. Why should a non-citizen just be able to just throw something in the mail? And that ballot counts as much as anybody else's? That's not right. And we know it's not right. And it's gone on long enough. You don't want to get stuck with another Biden puppet presidency. Or we could have gotten stuck with Kamala. We could have turned the whole thing with illegal aliens. That's insane. And the regular American citizens in this country would have been able to vote somebody back in. It would have been over. It would have been lost forever. They would never allow audits or any of these other bills to go through. So I think it's great that they're on top of this now, so it doesn't get abused in the future. Okay, well, I think that covers that. Let's get back to the show topics. So, Social Security system packed with fraud and abuse. It sure looks that way, but they'll have to dig through and find out. Democrats will find reasons to vote against the SAVE Act. You bet your ass they will. Just a matter of how they approach it. But we'll see. That should be interesting. Okay, next topic is the left now incapable of having civil discourse with the right. It's starting to look that way. They don't want to have regular conversations with people. They like to kind of insulate themselves in their own bubble with other people that agree with them, which is getting very dangerous. And you're seeing a lot of this wave of Tesla terrorism across the states, which is highly alarming. And we'll break some of that down, showing that there is no civil discourse, because you've got sort of counter protesters, like, real like grassroots, like MAGA Trump supporters, just trying to like talk to these people. I want to do this myself if I was in an area where this would make sense. Now, I'm in Nashville, which is very red, so I don't think they have a lot of problems with the Tesla terror. But if I was back in LA or Austin or maybe Vegas, or even back in my old home of Minneapolis, I would love to attend one of these events, just get a camera and form a few interviews. And just ask these people, why are they so upset, or what are they worried about with Elon, or what benefits do they think that the MAGA, the Trump administration, is going to take away from them? It doesn't go that well. So let's take a look. Yeah, these people are mostly just completely unhinged and irrational. So we have more Tesla terror attacks. Here's a man who savagely beat an innocent woman for simply just driving a Tesla. And a lot of these guys are all being identified and arrested thanks to a lot of these cameras that are on the vehicles. This is hilarious. But imagine how bad it would be if they didn't, if the cameras weren't rolling. Because so many of these people are very stealthily just, they're like keying freaking swastikas in people's cars. It's the audacity. I can't imagine ever thinking that or resorting to that. And some of these people should be, are like responsible. They're business owners. They're well-to-dos. I got one of these clips coming up. It's like, what the hell are they thinking? Are they just radicalized by NPR or MSNBC? Do they think for themselves? So I guess not. Or easily manipulated by mass media. So here's a 33-year-old motorist conducted a road rage attack against a 61-year-old woman who just happened to be driving a Tesla. And I know that Pam Bondi is going to start cracking down. And we'll see how that goes. But here's the latest.
Tesla attack in Flagstaff last week. It shows a green car pulling up next to a Tesla on busy Route 66, then swerving in front to box the vehicle in. The driver then walks over to the
Good God. You're actually going, you just saw a Tesla and you're so mad. And it's not like, it's got I love Elon written all over it. Go MAGA flags. Who knows when they actually bought this Tesla? Oh crap! Now it's going to be Let me try refreshing this. Let's try playing this.
Tesla attack in Flagstaff last week. It shows a green car pulling up next to a Tesla on busy Route 66, then swerving in
Good old Route 66 going through Arizona here.
front to box the vehicle in. The driver then walks over to the 61-year-old woman in the Tesla and reportedly starts hitting her while she's behind the wheel.
I started to say, you cut me off. What's your problem? But I don't know how much of that got out. And he started to punch me with a closed fist.
At one point, the victim, who wants to hide her identity, says she bit the man's hand. Moments later, the passenger of the green car appears to walk over and pull the attacker away.
By the way, hit
They
pause.
finally
Back it up 10 seconds. I love what the news says. She claims you can see, because it's from the side of the car, the camera, his arm going boom, 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 boom.
I mean, what possesses a person to do that? Not only just the road rage of just boxing somebody up. It's not like they cut you off and now you're going to send a message, or you lay on your horn, you do something. But to actually like terrorize another citizen, pull a dangerous stunt like that, push them off of the road, and then continue to escalate it. It'd be one thing if, you know, what if they were wearing a MAGA hat and I don't know. But it's instead you find that it's a 61-year-old woman. You're a 33-year-old man, and now you're going to start taking swings at her because she's driving a Tesla, and somehow you're associating that as fascist, Nazi something. These people are completely deranged. I don't know if there's any way to have civil discourse with these people. They're completely brainwashed. It's like they're just like they're AI. They're robots. They're not human anymore. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know how. If our civilization survives and scholars in the future can identify this and figure out what was going on with the psychology. Or is it something they put in the jabs? Is it 5G? I don't know. None of this makes sense. It's like weaponized propaganda, but this still doesn't make any sense. For them to go this far, to these extremes, to start attacking Tesla people. Again, who most of them are, you know, probably leftists anyway. They're going after their own people. They're so stupid. Or are these people like are they supposed to sell their cars right away? Give in to the terror? I mean, it's just the left has lost its mind. So here's the latest case. All right, but there's another one. This was on my thumbnail for today. The instant karma. The anti-Tesla protester starts fight with a pro-Trump guy who happened to also be a jiu-jitsu brown belt. Didn't work out too well, but let's take a look at this other unhinged activist.
Hey, sir, we have tiny dicks, and that's why we support this shit.
Okay. Bitch. Later on, this guy would claim he only knocked my hat off, which is clearly not the case.
Look how aggressive that is. I mean, you just can't, it's like a regular conversation. Like, hey, why do you support your position? You know, like let it amplify a little bit if there's something to amplify. You know, have the conversation if you disagree and someone's being irrational or out of line, and just still to provoke, you know, to make an assault like that. That's a pretty aggressive. That's really escalating things very quickly. This isn't like, you know, rival, you know, fans, you know, day drunk in a, you know, football at a sports ball bar. I mean, come on. So let's take a look at this again.
Hey, sir, we have tiny dicks, and that's why we support this shit.
Okay.
Wow,
Later on, this
tough guy, tiny dicks, bitch.
guy would claim he only knocked my hat off, which is clearly not the case.
Okay. Bitch.
Oh, poor Nona. She can't believe what she's seeing.
Shit.
I love this pause here. It's like ChatGPT thinking before it spits out an answer. I'm crawling all the data from my 8 years of YouTubing, my martial arts experience, trying to decide how to handle this thing artfully.
Oh, wow, that's not okay.
To quote King Theoden, so it begins.
Okay. Bitch. Oh, wow, that's not okay. Hey, you assaulting him, man? We got that shit on camera? Now you're gonna go down. Now it's gonna be a problem for you, man.
Jiu-jitsu is based on the idea that if your opponent is standing, he can put his whole body into a strike and generate enough force to knock you out. But once you get him down, it's over. He can no longer generate power with punches or kicks, or not any real power. I'm a brown belt.
Knock that smile right off his face. Yeah, who's the bitch now?
So it's possible one day I find myself on the ground with a black belt and I get out grappled. But as a rule, people who know how to fight don't start fights. Guys like this dude.
Come on, man. This guy's biting me, dude. Dude, he hit me. Don't touch him. Don't touch my boy.
But that's not gonna stop me. The triangle's been my baby since at least 2008.
Good old triangle hold. Triangle choke hold.
If you want to, you could completely extinguish somebody's life with a triangle. But for a situation like this, it's nice too, because you can just put the guy on timeout.
My boy, let him do it. He's gonna put him to sleep. He's gonna put him to sleep. Hey, he bit me. He's biting me, dude. He's biting me.
That's triangle checkmate right there. That's not a fun place to be. This guy's pushing on his face, trying to free him. All these people had a primitive understanding that something bad was happening, so they're just trying to push and pull on various body parts, hoping to...
Jerk off, still smiling down there. God. But he got what he deserved.
Alleviate pressure. But I wasn't torquing this hard enough to actually put the guy to sleep. My plan was catch and release from the beginning.
I want the gun. I'm not gonna hurt him. I'm not gonna hurt him. He did hit me. I know, it's definitely him. It was him. We also he knocked his head off. No, he knocked his head off. You come on.
We'll see if that had been reversed, if the leftist would have been as merciful. Probably not. Let's check out another one of these crazy vandals. This guy's a business owner. He's supposed to be a responsible adult. But he got called out. Got caught vandalizing somebody else's Tesla. Here we go. Let's run this one.
Free service. How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off
no,
with a towel.
No,
it's not.
No, it is a hate crime, sir. It is a hate crime. Did you write a swastika on there?
I'm sorry you're upset.
Did you write a swastika?
Sorry you're upset. You wrote a fucking swastika on my car. Deserve to get your ass kicked.
It didn't even work. Apparently it doesn't work.
Did you write a swastika on the... It's a key, sir. We see it on the video.
It's not a key.
Is it a swastika?
I was probably putting my keys in my pocket.
Is it a swastika?
Have you looked at your car? Is there a key mark?
Yes. Is it a swastika?
That's impossible.
It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because...
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, now he's going to deal with those consequences. Oh, shit. Yeah, you messed up. I don't know if it was a key or you drew it, but if the police have it and they're going to fingerprint it, yeah, now there's going to be some charges being brought, buddy. That's dumb.
They're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now, because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry for writing a swastika on a Tesla.
Listen, I said... I'm sorry.
For what?
And I apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against your car, and I have nothing against you.
So why did you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the
way
to show
So Elon Musk owns that car? Because it was bought and paid for. It was bought and paid for a long time ago.
That's why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right, we're gonna wait.
Oh my God. All right. Well, it's interesting getting a actual confession. Oh my God. Like a come to Jesus moment. Like what a freaking idiot this guy is. Like what possesses you to do something that's stupid? Somebody else's car. It has got nothing. It's not Elon's Tesla. You just happen to see in a garage, you saw Elon getting out of it, and you saw, yeah, I'm going to get him. Even though it's totally off base anyway. He's not a Nazi. Just the press said he was because he said his heart goes out to people, and he had a salute that vaguely resembled a Nazi. And then you just put it together and then want to believe it. Oh my God, all Tesla owners are Nazis. Insane. So I don't know. They still haven't gotten the message because there's still more of this happening every frickin' day. It's the story that just will not end. But I mean, I guess it's entertaining in a way. Speaking of which, let's take a look at this one. Democrats have become ridiculous. Now, these might be the paid protesters. Some of them they're the AstroTurf activists. These are not real grassroots activists. And they do these wild publicity stunts. Here we go. I don't know what this is. Is the Macarena or something? No, it's Electric. They're doing some disco dance. Oh my God. What a spectacle. It's embarrassing. I don't know how these people, maybe, I don't know if they ever get their sanity back in 5-10 years. They're going to look back on this, go, oh my God, what were we thinking? I think this mass mental illness. I don't get it. But let's take another look. We got a look at a new video here. It's out of Ford Fisher when he went to a Tesla dealership. Actually, I'm not sure if that was him filming or not. No, maybe one of his correspondents did in St. Petersburg in Florida. But they actually showed some of the Trump supporters, just trying to have, a civil discussion with some of these people. And let's see how that worked out.
Swastika. That's good. That's good. Fascism, yeah.
Swastika! Swastika! Don't drive a swastika!
Okay, so what are people supposed to do? They bought a Tesla years ago, and then now the news media is making up a bunch of BS that Elon is a Nazi because he's looking at the fraud, waste, and abuse in the government, which happens to perhaps take away a big slush fund from U.S. aid from the Democrats. And now you're out on the streets yelling swastika, thinking you're fighting fascism. What a colossal moron. Here we go.
This is what insanity looks like. This is what insanity looks like.
$1,000, all those women listen to NPR.
This is what insanity looks like.
Trying to figure out what are these people doing here. Tesla's the most American-made car out there. I like he's finding out where our money's going to. I don't like our money going to other countries for crazy things. Let's take care of American people first. Let's take care of America instead of other countries. And I guess if you want to...
You see the contrast between a MAGA Republican versus the rabid leftists that hate Elon and Trump. They're able to articulate what's happening.
Boil down a fascist, he is a fascist because he's trying to find out what's going on with our money.
I'm sorry, did you say, what did you just say, he's a fascist?
That's what they're saying. I don't think he is. I think he's here for the country, here for the American people. 3 years ago, they loved the Tesla, Elon Musk, all the electric cars, but now they're burning them down for some reason.
Our message, our primary message is we don't want an unelected person and his minions going into our government and robbing us of money and programs.
But this is the yes, your average leftist here is believes that somehow Elon is stealing from them. He's an unelected bureaucrat stealing their Social Security and their Medicaid. It's ridiculous. So you gotta blame them for being so freaking stupid and just blindly believing the stupid propaganda that's being shoved down at them from MSNBC and NPR. So I don't know, who do you blame? Combination of both. So they're outraged for all the wrong reasons.
It's not their job, wasn't elected, so we think the CEO of this company needs to be held accountable. We're fine with people who drive Teslas, we're fine with people who love the electric vehicles. We love
that's nice. So at least she's not carving swastikas into your vehicles. Well, that's at least an improvement.
Vehicles, everyone should love electric vehicles. But what we have a problem with is the CEO. And this is our only way of protesting that. Our Congress people aren't listening to us. The court.
What do you mean they're not listening? They're the ones cheerleading this.
Are trying to listen to us, but it's only a matter of time to see what will happen. Are the court orders going to be obeyed? And so far, Musk and Trump and Vance are not obeying court orders. They keep violating them over and over.
Federal court orders from judges that have no case to be obstructing the executive branch.
Over again. The only way they can be held accountable is through the people or the Marshal Service, but they run the Marshal Service. So now we're down to the people. The people's voices have to be heard loudly and clearly. We are a peaceful.
Yeah, but you're not making any sense.
Protest.
Give her credit for being
times.
Peaceful, unlike many of the other.
Non-confrontational.
One of the non-paid, because that's probably because it's in Fort Lauderdale or whatever. It's red.
We don't want to have confrontations with these people who are obviously organized by Tesla because they're parking in Tesla's parking lot. We're not allowed to park in Tesla's parking lot for this.
Well, why would you? Are you there to buy a Tesla? Yeah, I'm a protester. I'm here to go after Elon. You mind if I park my car at your dealership?
So we're here just to say the people don't want unelected people raiding our government.
Think for yourselves, people. I know there's one other one. I mean, these people are idiots.
Everything.
Everything?
We're fighting for America's right to survive and for rights and democracy. Free speech.
How does this affect anything? God, I mean, this is what I would like to do too, is just to go out and ask them questions. And it's amazing. They have such a lack of, intelligent response to anything.
What brings you guys out here today?
Everything.
Everything?
We're fighting for America's right to survive and for rights and democracy. Free speech. For everyone. Women's rights.
Dismantling of America.
Unelected people altering our government. Medicaid.
You really like this guy.
Medicaid. They think you're taking Medicaid. Okay, here's another guy having a regular conversation with them.
Until you realized, oh wait, he's going to support stuff we don't believe in. Now, it's very black and white. He's trying to save America's finances.
You lump all liberals into a group. I'm middle, dude.
Well, you're out here with who's that? Do you know the definition of fascism?
Of course I do.
What is it? It's government overtaking.
And you don't think that's going on? Dude, don't bait me. Go away. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, go away, dude. Don't bait me, because you can't have the conversation. You'll get exposed. You want to sit in your comfort zone with all of your like-minded people. But as soon as you have to deal with reality and other people with a different perspective, you start to disagree and they don't know what to do. So they just try to go and hide.
I'm not here to talk to you.
Oh, so you're here to send the message, but as soon as somebody starts talking to you, you realize it's going to sound like horse shit coming out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We can get away with that amongst their own, but it's not going to work on other people.
That's the reason I don't want to talk to you. Go home and watch something other than Fox.
You don't need to watch this.
Go ahead and watch Fox News.
Fox, I just have a brain.
Nothing. Go away, dude.
See, obviously they don't want any involvement.
Don't feed the trolls. Oh my
I'm not bothering him. I'm just saying that doesn't make any sense.
He asked you to go away.
Well, so what? I don't care if he's asking you to go away.
He's got a legal right to be on the sidewalk just like we do.
I do.
We're all Americans here. Some have different opinions than
I know,
others.
and some opinions are dumb. So it's, what's going on?
They think theirs is right. We think ours is right.
I agree.
USA.
Perfect.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
He has
But
a legal
All right, so, but yeah, are we capable of having discourse? This is the question here. Is the left now incapable of civil discourse with the right? Yeah, I think so. No back and forth, not like it used to be, which is, becoming dangerous. Because if we can't, come together on so many of these issues, on things that we should all agree on, then you continually just getting more unhinged in your own little bubble there. So it's weird how that has happened. Hello, Frankie Brown. Great to have you here. Just got back from Nashville, huh? All righty. Well, in my backyard. All right. Well, I'll have to let me know one of these times. Okay. So let's see. What else do I have on this particular issue? Just, I think one more. Yeah, violent Democrats might find themselves in prison soon for firebombing Tesla vehicles. Yeah, one of those guys has already got looking at 20 years. The guy that firebombed the dealership in Colorado, and I think the same is going to happen for the guy in Las Vegas. I just like this title, where they could easily get raped and tortured by murderers. So this actually is a really good article. But yeah, it's weird how they've resorted to this. They've changed so much. The party of common sense. Just sitting down, having a conversation. Embraced hearing a different opinion and then telling you why they think their ideas are superior. But now it's just, they're just resorting almost immediately to violence. I mean, at least give these protesters on this last video a little credit for being non-violent. But yeah, you can definitely see they're very much exposed. Their reality is just very fragile right now, as they cling on to this belief that Elon is going to come in for their Social Security and their Medicare. Yeah, these people with TDS, you cannot talk to them. Yeah, they don't want to break, but they're just becoming more extreme. At what point do they break away? It's fascinating, like psychological conundrum we're facing, and I don't know how we get out of it. Hopefully it'll be a big lesson going forward into the future on just human psychology and behavior. Or are we just doomed to failure? I don't know. So many questions. But yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, I can't have it. A lot of people, even in my own family, don't want to talk anymore about these things. All right. Well, anyway, I think that's enough on that particular issue. Let's move on. Some smaller ones. Still got a few to go. We're already hitting that 1 hour mark. I think the next few should go pretty quickly. We'll get out of here in 90 minutes at the latest. So let's get a disturbing update here. On the next one. Oh, I have these out of orders. Special treatment. It's not enough to be anti-Semitic. This is definitely weird. Let's check this one out. Speaking of civil discourse, got a rabbi telling a Senate hearing that it's not enough to be not anti-Semitic. One must be anti-Semitic. This was Shabbat Lubavitch Rabbi Levi Shemtov if I'm pronouncing that right. The rabbi of Capitol Hill telling senators at a hearing on anti-Semitism that it's not enough for individuals and institutions to be not anti-Semitic. One must be anti-Semitic. So this is also pretty dangerous. Going after the cornerstone of our republic here with freedom of speech to protect one group.
Anti-Semitism is not just an age-old prejudice. It is a contemporary crisis manifesting on campuses across the nation. It is not enough for individuals or institutions to merely claim they are not anti-Semitic. As my father once taught me, it is not enough for people, especially public figures, to be neutral or not be anti-Semitic. One must be anti-Semitic. We must demand the same of our universities and government institutions. This hearing, in my opinion, is an attempt to be just that, anti-Semitic.
Okay. Well, we had a lot of protests on these college campuses for a long time. Like some of this stuff is being greatly exaggerated. And this is nothing new. These campuses have had college-age students kind of getting into activism for the first time, tend to protest against wars or what they think is a genocide happening in Gaza. They are alarmed by that. This twist, I don't know how much of it is actually just anti-Semitic. I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned with the current administration and the way that they want to crack down on this. Protecting one particular group of people. I don't know. I just think everybody should have their right for freedom of speech as long as they're not being violent. As long as it's not hate. But they're trying to change that, perhaps. And I gotta say, somebody I criticize a lot, and somebody who, and I'm definitely concerned with a lot of people in the MAGA group, as much as I can support Trump or Elon. I do get a little concerned about some of the people that are just 100%, back Israel no matter what, which could also be problematic because they do things that are occasionally that are in the wrong, and they need to be called out for that. And they want special treatment. And so Steven Crowder here called that out. So kudos to him. Let's listen to him in this clip. Let's clarify that we should get people in MAGA. We can support our allies, sure. We should look down on anti-Semitism, absolutely. But to give them special privileges is going a bit far. Special treatment? No, nobody gets special treatment. All right, so let's listen to Crowder here.
There aren't enough of you saying, hey, I'm American first. And even if I think that anti-Semitism is gross, it's horrible, of course, as an American and a citizen of this country, where my loyalty lies, I have to protect the right of individuals to express their opinions and exercise the First Amendment, provided they are not committing a crime or actually calling people to violence.
Which I think we should all agree on. If people want to protest at their universities, that's cool. I mean, if they're actually flaming anti-Semitic Hamas activists, violent, sure, pull them out or punish them, something like that, absolutely. But if they want to criticize Israel or Netanyahu or what they perceive as a genocide, they should absolutely have every right to do so. Sometimes you're twisting things as, being anti-Semitic. Oh, you're pro-Hamas. Like, no, I'm not pro-Hamas. But that doesn't mean that I think that I agree with what Bibi Netanyahu's strategy is in Gaza. So anyway, there should not be a double standard here. Let's keep rolling.
This is bad. This is a bad look. This is a bad message. It's going to sow more division. And the very fact that I am saying this, and I know that there will be people mad on both sides, is what makes this bad. Let me make it really clear.
And that is, one of the things that does alarm me, one of my probably my biggest criticism of the MAGA and a lot of the right-wing media is their rabid support of Israel. Like, they can do no wrong. It's always 100% skewed one way, total blindness. And that's the problem. So and I don't even know if he would be able to say this if he was still working, with Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is one of those 100% or greatest ally, whatever. A lot of them take, funding too, which skews their opinion. So you got to give kudos to Crowder here for, standing up for free speech and putting America first, unlike some people that are in this media.
People like this rabbi, not all Jews, and certainly not all American Jews. It's not enough to be anti-Semitic. You, as a public figure, have to be anti-Semitic. Shut up. You don't get special treatment. There aren't enough of you saying...
There we go. Good call. And here's Glenn Greenwald, who's, I believe, is Jewish himself, saying the Trump administration not only targeting students on visas who criticize Israel, it is eroding the free speech rights of American students and academics across the country. I'm not going to run this clip, but we get the gist of it. So it sets a dangerous precedent, and that should not happen. So hopefully they'll back off on all of this. And I haven't covered this. I try to get out of it because it's such a toxic issue, but sometimes there needs to be some pushback. Okay. Well, let's move on. I think that's all I have to say on that particular issue. It's a lot of odds and ends. I wouldn't say there's any major breaking news on this April Fool's Day. But I do have a few more quick ones, I think. Or maybe one's going to be a little longer. We'll see. What's the next topic on the agenda? Oh, we've got Virginia Giuffre's accident. Was it a karmic retribution? So this is an alarming news story. The Epstein victim, the one we all knew, the most prominent witness, whistleblower from the Epstein case. Virginia Giuffre apparently has days to live after being in a terrible car accident. And here she is with Prince Andrew back in the day when she was a minor, when he was buddies with Jeffrey Epstein. So she was passed around to a bunch of high-level people. Most vocal child sex abuse victim just coincidentally got severely injured in this car accident. Yeah, trafficked by Epstein to the UK, the Duke of York. Says she's now suffering kidney failure as a result of the accident. So she was driving, I don't know, I'm not sure where she even lives at this point. I thought she was in Colorado from a few years ago, but she's talking about driving in kilometers. So I don't know, but so the school bus driver came at her at 68 miles an hour, which seems odd, a little overboard. I don't know where this was unless they were actually on the highway. She's gone into kidney renal failure, given just 4 days to live, and this is a couple days ago. This one's from March 31st. So she's already at her halfway point. So she's been transferred to a specialist hospital in urology, trying to see her kids one last time before she passes. Hopefully she'll make it through. She's already had a tough enough life as it is, but she's being criticized from Lady Victoria Hervey, who once dated Prince Andrew, calling Epstein's victim devastating accident karma on Instagram. So that's a pretty sickening twist. Here it is. The pain caused by her lies destroying life. I don't think not even the British press and Prince Andrew are ignoring these anymore. So I don't think there's any lies told, at least not in that case. She might have gotten some of the people identified wrong. She was a minor being passed around to these high-level politicians. She has a lot to answer for. Yeah, we'd all like to get answers for all of this stuff. But I'm not buying this from whoever the hell Lady Victoria Hervey is. So she's saying it's karma. I'm saying this looks shady. This looks like a potential hit. But I don't know about the school bus. That's a pretty tough one to pull off. Getting a school bus to get that much speed and to somehow make a collision. I have questions about this, so not sure, but I did ask Grok about it. Because there's definitely controversy over this. Multiple news outlets, including BBC and CNN, reporting she had a serious accident, was receiving medical care in a hospital, but this is reportedly in Australia. So I don't even understand where she lives. She was a minor, she was in Florida, and then she was in Colorado, and now she's in Australia. I don't know. So I guess there was a crash on March 24th, which is a week ago now. That's 8 days ago. Involving a car and a bus in a rural area in the BFE, Australia, but described it as a minor crash with no reported injuries. So I don't know. But I mean, you can see the pictures for something what happened. We just don't know how much of it is legitimate and whether we can verify the claims. So she remains in serious condition at the hospital, according to representatives, though medical officials have reportedly clarified her injuries as non-life-threatening. And if that happened 8 days ago and she said she had 4 days to live and she's still alive, then there wouldn't be life-threatening. I don't know. Hopefully she'll recover and we'll get answers to this whole Epstein saga and get the answers we're all looking for. So we'll see. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's get to the next topic. French, are they using lawfare against Marine Le Pen? Let's say, yeah, this is not looking good. Got the judge ruling Marine Le Pen ineligible to run for president in 2027 in France, in the latest blow to democracy in Europe. She's going to be ineligible along with 8 other, I guess, like members of parliament from her particular national rally party after they were found guilty of a misappropriation of European Union funds. So this seems like a political attack. I mean, who knows? Maybe we don't know. We'll have to dig into it. But what are the odds that Macron's most serious political opponent, guilty of a big scandal, they're trying to put her away for 4 years, but then we'll give you 2 years suspended, but you can't run in 2027. So this just reeks to me of election interference, reeks of lawfare. Le Pen said before the trial the matter is entirely political and that her opponents wish for her political death. Yeah, I think they're definitely scared of nationalist uprising in Europe. They tried here in the United States to take out Trump any way possible. First, the easy way with all of the outrageous lawfare attacks, trying to get him with 34 felonies, all this ridiculous manufactured BS. And they tried to blow his head off in Pennsylvania, but he still got elected. And I think you're seeing the panic set in amongst the globalists, the establishment, the European Union. And now they're going to try to kneecap their political opponents so that they don't take over anywhere else. It sets that precedent. Threatens the globalist agenda and their way of life. And Trump and the State Department are slamming France for the ban and expose the political persecution. So that's been a very interesting story that's developed over the last couple of days. So good luck to Le Pen if she's innocent and being politically targeted. France is a mess right now with Macron. They deserve better. So interesting tactics they're trying to pull off. Okay, well, let's move on. Got another couple more stories. How am I looking on time here? I got about 15 minutes left. Maybe we'll knock out the quick one here. Well, there's NFL. Should they ban the Tush Push for the unfair advantage? Here we go. I think I got a stinger for that, but I don't know if it's actually going to work. Okay. This is just April Fool's fodder. I was wondering if I would have enough time to fill in a whole show. I guess I did. So here's why the NFL shouldn't ban the brotherly shove. See the Philadelphia Eagles, who won the last Super Bowl. They've pulled off this play to perfection over the years. It's pretty much an easy 1 yard gain, whether it's which kind of gives them advantage, but they have like the personnel for it. They've got one of the top offensive lines. And their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, I think he can squat like 600 pounds. And they'll get somebody behind him to push on him. And it's easy to gain a yard. They've tried to, they brought it up at the meetings to try to ban it because maybe it's giving them an unfair advantage. But they're the only team in history that's really been able to pull that off successfully. You know, it's worth mentioning, perhaps throwing it around as potentially getting rid of it. Is it? Because it's almost like when it's hard to make that stop. And it's easy as an NFL team to keep moving the chains and you in those short yardage situations. So, but hey, it's worked to their advantage. But it's kind of weird to try to actually make a play in the NFL. Just because it's benefiting one particular team, but if they also have all the right personnel to go along with it. I don't know how you stop it. It's not my problem. I do like NFL. I do like football. I hate the Eagles, but even then, I think they should be able to keep it. So I guess that's all I've got to say on that. I told you it was going to be a quick one, but they happen to be in the news. I'm not going to touch the torpedo bat situation with the Yankees. No opinion. I've given up on baseball. It's 158,000 more games left, so they'll be able to figure out something, hopefully. Outside of that. All right, so what last topic I have is Kid Rock. Trump welcoming Kid Rock to the White House for an executive order targeting ticket scalpers. I actually think this would be kind of cool. Should they have a crackdown on ticket scalping and outrageous fees? Absolutely. I've been hit with this before as well. So President Trump invited Kid Rock into the Oval Office on Monday and signed an executive order that he says will help curb ticket scalping and bring common sense changes to the way live events are priced. So anyone who's bought a concert ticket in the last decade, maybe 20 years, no matter what your politics are, knows that it's a conundrum. Absolutely. I've been going to concerts for 30 years, and I have seen things change quite dramatically. Used to be pretty cheap to go, and then Ticketmaster got into the game, and then they would gouge you with all kinds of fees, and then the scalpers would get in, buy up tons of tickets, and then resell them for outrageous prices, in addition to all the fees. And it's unfair for the average fan to go see their favorite bands without getting just gouged. So there's been all kinds of problems. It's gone on for a long time. And it was great to see Kid Rock come out and talk about this, because it doesn't benefit him either if he's getting, he kind of makes that point. If they jacked up the ticket sales, that doesn't go into his pocket. But let's hear from him.
Much. Bob, you want to say something?
Yeah, anybody who's, it doesn't matter your politics. First of all, thank you, Mr. President, because this has happened at lightning speed. I know you put, I want to make sure Alina Habba gets her credit too, because I know she worked very hard on this, but thank you for making this happen so quick. Anyone who's bought a concert ticket in the last decade, maybe 20 years, no matter what your politics are, knows it is a conundrum. You buy a ticket for $100, by the time you check out, it's 170. You don't know what you can charge for, but more importantly, these bots, you know, they come in to get all the good tickets to your favorite shows you want to go to, and then they're relisted immediately for sometimes a 400% or 500% markup. And the artists don't see any of that money. And, you know, ultimately, I think this is a great first step. I would love down the road if there'd be some legislation that we could actually put a cap on the resale of tickets. And I'm a capitalist and a deregulation guy, but they've tried this in some places in Europe, and it seems to be the only thing that's us as artists be able to get the tickets into the hands of the fans at the prices we set. I'll be the first one to say, and I know the president doesn't like when I say this, but I'm a little overpaid right now. It's kind of ridiculous. I would rather be, you know, a hero to working class people and have them be able to.
Yeah, you want your fans to come and see you and not get gouged by bots and scammers and greedy executives and what have you. In fact, I actually have some proof of that. Me getting hit myself back, it's about 2019. I even have a couple of quick videos to share when that directly happened to me. I was trying to get into a Black Keys concert in 2019 when I had moved to Los Angeles. And they hadn't done a concert in like 4 years. But they ran this spontaneous one in LA, and which was cool. And I didn't know how many people were aware that they were making this all of a sudden this spontaneous show, because they had this big event lined up in Las Vegas, the Life is Beautiful tour. But then they decided, hey, before we do the tour, let's do kind of like I don't know if it's like a practice show, just like maybe a warm-up show or however you want to call it, just because they hadn't toured in so long. And so I was like, cool, well, I get to go see them. I had never seen them before. It's one of my favorite bands. So I'll go buy a ticket. And since I was part of their like fan club, I kind of got advance notice. I knew when the tickets would come out on sale at like, 11 in the morning, what have you. But then I realized the hard way that I had forgotten like my ticket match. So once like 11 a.m. hit, I figured, okay, well this should be okay. I'll have I'll get in, I'll go buy a ticket, everything's cool. But a couple of things. One, I had forgotten my Ticketmaster password, and I had my old email, all old contact info. So when I tried to log in to buy the ticket, I realized I don't know all my I had to reset all of that stuff. And by the time I got it figured out, got my ticket, put it in the cart, tried to buy it, I found out the whole concert had sold out. In like 15 minutes, it was gone. And I was like, oh my God, I just missed this opportunity to get the ticket. It's all sold out, and I missed it. And I was beating myself up, and then for a couple of days, and then I realized, wait a second. So this was on, the concert was going to be on September 19th. My birthday was September 20th. And I was like, forget it. I don't even care. I'm going to go find a scalp ticket. I am going to go to this show. I don't care. I'm going to find a way. So I went on StubHub. I registered. I found one of these tickets. I spent, I don't know, $120 for it. So it got marked up, I don't know, 5-6 times. But I was still like, yeah, I'm still going to go. I don't care, even though I totally got gouged. But I found out once I got there, it was this little venue at the Wiltern in Los Angeles, which is really a great place to see a show, but it's a small theater. It's like meant for like plays and what have you. But it's a great place, and I saw a couple other concerts there as well. But I went there and we all got frozen out. All of the people who had bought tickets through StubHub or some other, they they messed something up with the corporation, and they decided they weren't going to allow those people to enter. And so there was a lot of people outside the venue who couldn't get in. And I was there, and I actually have some footage from that. I'm going to run one more from her. Okay, that time's 9:14. There's the line still. Can't get in. Unbelievable. Anybody that bought tickets on StubHub is apparently just getting screwed, and they're hearing different stories. Apparently anything that was resold is not valid. Well, we're going to keep trying to get in. Hopefully they haven't started the set yet, but this is ridiculous. Right, so that was me on September 19th of 2019, standing outside the Wiltern, and there was a bunch of people we had wanted to see the Black Keys, couldn't get in the initial rush, missed out, decided to buy tickets secondhand through StubHub, marked up, got gouged, but then we weren't able to actually go into the show. And most of those people left. And I almost did, because I tried it a few times to go in, and you're supposed to scan like a code. In fact, I still have it right here. The old QR code from that day. We call it a birthday miracle. I don't know what happened, even though it was late and I was showing that I was already like 9:15, 9:30 or whatever, just as they were about to hit the stage. And for whatever reason, I got up and I just zoomed in on the QR code, and I just, come on, one more time, and all of a sudden it beeped and it went in. And I don't know how it happened. Again, maybe a birthday miracle, but I actually did get to barely into the show. So there you go. As your exclusive there, that was the encore, got in. So I did manage to make it in, but so many people it turned out to be a pretty big story because of the debacle that happened, and so many people that had come to see the show and paid good money and were rejected just because there was a dispute between how the tickets were being maneuvered. So I'm all in favor of having this set up, because people have gotten away with this for too long, just manipulating the system and just pricing too many people out, and all the fans get hurt, and it doesn't benefit the artists. It's just bad news for everybody. So that's good. I'm glad to see that Kid Rock and Donald Trump did something to make sure that those kinds of things don't happen again going forward. So, okay, well, I think that's all I have today. So this went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it's all good. So thank you all for being here and on this April Fool's Day. Sorry, I didn't have any jokes for today. So I'm not going to start one now. But anyways, great to have you guys. No April Fools. And I'll do it again Thursday. We'll see what happens with this big meeting tomorrow. There's big announcements with Trump. On April 2nd, he pushed it off because he didn't want it to be on April Fool's Day. Weird news day for it. But anyway, and also a potential bonus if you guys are interested. I have a new music blog from Grok on my website at the Next Level News. It's Frontier Psychiatrist. It's a pretty interesting song and video. And in fact, they actually have a Black Keys video is my last one. Good stuff on there. I'm putting together a nice little music collection try to put a music blog on once a week, and it's awesome having Grok. He does a great job with the AI stuff. So pretty cool if you're interested. Otherwise, yeah, you can check in on Thursday for the next live show. And I think that's all I have for today. So thank you so much, everybody, attending, lurking, chatting, or in the replays. Love you all, and we'll catch you next time. Take care. I'm out.